Boxing talk.
We back.
We are back.
Here we go. Here we go.
And so
we got it's been a minute. I feel like I ain't seen y'all in a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
What was the last fight?
It makes sense though, because of the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, everybody busy.
So,
Haney was the last joint.
Haney, that was 2 weeks ago.
But we ain't talk about that, did we?
Yeah, we talked about Haney.
We talked about
Haney.
We didn't talk.
We didn't talk about Lomachenko.
We didn't talk about Lomachenko.
Loma, that
was the last fight.
Yeah, Loma.
Haney and Haney and Cambosis, right? And Tio, was that the same night?
No.
Wasn't that the same night?
Tio and Cambosis was the week before.
Who? They fought with Fulton Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, Cambosis was the same night as Figueroa and
Fulton.
And Fulton. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's been about 2 weeks then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we back.
Yeah.
We done picked up a lot of subscribers over the past. I don't know how, but we done picked up about 40 or 50 subscribers
And
since the last.
Please,
show.
welcome. Yeah, and thank you.
And thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah.
As always, y'all know in the comments, I appreciate y'all. But we here to talk shit.
Yeah.
So
Let it begin.
Yeah.
So let's get down to business. First things first. I think the news that everybody is covering right now is Spence versus Ugas. Your thoughts?
Okay.
Who should go first?
I'll go first.
Go
My
ahead.
thoughts on the situation is that was the fight that Spence was gonna fight anyway. Before the was it WBA?
WBA, yeah.
Yeah, WBA tried to fuck it up. Excuse my language.
I agree.
I mean, but that's the fight that he was gonna fight anyway. He wanted to fight Ugas. He wanted that belt. He wants to be undisputed. So he's gonna have to fight Ugas, whether it's now or it's later.
Which means if he wants to be undisputed, he has to do what?
He has to fight Ugas and he has to fight Crawford.
All right. So, Alan, your thoughts?
Happy to see that fight is going to happen. Happy to see that Ugas is going to get an opportunity to fight one of the big names. And like Tony just said, he's going to go. I mean, Terrence Crawford will be the crown jewel.
I mean, it makes sense, man. In my book, I mean, why not have the biggest fight for all the marbles?
For last, exactly.
You know, I mean, with it being an opportunity.
But you know that this whole negotiation with Ugas is pretty much. I think when they were talking about him and Terrence Crawford was the only fight before, all of a sudden out of nowhere Pacquiao came out.
Well, what happened was, one thing I noticed about Earl is when things get quiet, shit's happening.
Right.
Because like everybody thinks, and I think Spence even put this, and I've said it multiple times, in the social media era, people think because you don't say nothing or because you not hooping and hollering over Twitter that you ducking the situation, where real business gets handled behind closed doors.
Yep.
So I mean, is for me, I look at, as long as we hearing the chatter about Earl and Crawford, nothing's happening. When shit get quiet, that's when I believe that that we close to a fight. But like I said, after this, it's no stone unturned. There's nowhere to go. So the narrative is Spence is ducking Crawford,
which I don't understand. And with the news of Ugas and Spence fighting, I actually learned a lesson, because I mean, we all are always searching for information.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as Brandon has said to me many times, be careful where you get your information, because I listened to a channel today and I'm sitting there like, what his title was and where he went with the whole conversation, I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So just be careful where you're getting your information from.
And also read, because a lot of times we'll see a title and we don't read the whole thing and we just jump to a conclusion. Example, I'll probably title this video Spence versus Ugas, but we still talking about other stuff
right
in the video. So you just got to read the whole title. A lot of people think everybody's clickbaiting. That's not always the case, especially not over here, because I mean, we here to have fun anyway. It's just for the love of the sport for us. We just like talking boxing. So, but I don't see the ducking from Earl. I mean, and I like both fighters.
And I didn't even. I mean, I heard it, but I mean, I didn't think it was like a big thing. I just brushed it off like he's not ducking Terrence Crawford.
Anybody who knows anything about boxing knows Errol Spence ain't ducking nowhere.
I mean, you gotta respect the man, man. The man came back from a car injury. I mean, people gonna say Danny Garcia was a tune-up, but I think Danny Garcia was a top 5 fighter in the division.
Oh, no
To
question.
me, that's not a tune-up.
No, it's not. It's not a tune-up.
Coming back off of retina surgery. Who did Ray Leonard fight off of retina surgery? His first fight back.
Kevin Howard. Was it Kevin Howard?
Bruce Finch?
Kevin Howard.
It wasn't somebody.
And then he retired again.
And then he retired again.
I'm just saying, the man's coming back from a retina tear, and he's fighting Ugas with no tune-up.
I mean, and the thing I really love about Errol Spence is, as Bernie said, there are no tune-ups with Errol Spence. He's a champion, and I feel all champions should fight somebody that we know, or at least somebody that's going to give them a fight. It shouldn't be no fights once you become a champion where your talent level is, well, as we say, levels. A champion is fighting a C-level fighter.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. Another reason why I applaud Errol Spence, and I don't want to sound like a fanboy because I mean I like Spence, but I'm not a fanatic. But one thing I will applaud Spence for, and I like to try to be even keeled across the board, is what do I always say about Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade and all of these guys that want to just sit around and wait for the Canelo sweepstakes. I always say, make your own path. Don't sit around and waste your career trying to navigate around somebody else's. And one thing Spence has always done is paved his own way. When nobody else wanted to fight, Mikey Garcia, he pretty much forced Kell Brook into fighting by becoming the mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Mikey Garcia fight happened when none of the other big guys wanted to fight him. Then, okay, now Sean Porter took the Ugas fight for whatever reason. They say it was a mandatory. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now he got to fight Errol Spence. So now Earl has put himself in a position from being the guy who was calling everybody out that nobody wanted to fight to being the guy who everybody calling out by not allowing Keith Thurman to dictate his career because that was the man at the top. And right now, Errol Spence says 60-40, cool, you don't want it, I'm gonna make my own way. Because I got this Ugas fight over there. We sitting here trying to figure out who Bud gonna fight next. If he takes a fight between this Ugas and Spence fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, like I said, I've already said that Spence one of my favorite boxers boxing today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I respect him. I mean, like you said, he come back and he's taking these fights. He said he didn't want any tune-ups. He said he wanted all the belts. He was scheduled to fight Ugas, before the whole Pacquiao thing jumped off. So, I mean, he's just doing what he was going to do. Just like before he got into that car accident, he was going to fight Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did.
And the reason why I can attest to it is because he's done exactly what he said.
Yep.
From the time that he had that meeting or that pull up with the Terrence Crawford thing, he's been saying. They said Porter, Danny, maybe Pacquiao.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see Ugas got thrown in because Manny was gone for so long, and then they stripped Manny of the belt. See, the reason why it looks different now is because Ugas wasn't a champion when any interview happened. So of course you got to go along with who's that. Just like if Crawford would have lost to Porter. Now of course we're not talking about Crawford, we talking about Porter because of the change of hands.
Yeah.
So I mean, to me, he's done exactly what he said he's going to do. And one thing that he's always said was, after I clean up my side of the street, because as much as people like to make it seem like it ain't no sides of the street, it is. Whether that's promotional companies, whether that's network deals that get in the way, regardless of what that is, there's a side of the street. If I'm a McDonald's worker, I can't just go clock in at Burger King. But I may be able to go to different McDonald's and pick up a shift. So it is a side of the street. And if Crawford wants to play hardball with this percentage shit, then okay, cool. I'm gonna fight the motherfucker that's easy to make a fight with. It just makes sense to me.
Well, let me ask y'all a question. Before that car accident, with the Sean Porter Earl Spence fight being as good as it was, I dare say now that's what 2 years. And Earl Spence for a minute was the face of boxing.
I would never say that.
At that time,
No.
who was bigger? At that time,
Canelo Alvarez has always been bigger than Earl Spence. Deontay Wilder was bigger than Earl Spence at the time, especially coming off of that.
who was Canelo fighting in Golovkin?
More than likely, yeah, around that time. Maybe a little before that was were the Golovkin fights. So
It really didn't matter.
Yeah.
I understand. I see what you're talking about.
as far as welterweight,
yeah,
maybe. But
yeah, no, like he was like, he was making, his way. He was making a buzz for himself, but it doesn't matter. Canelo could have been fighting you.
right.
He still is a bigger star than Earl Spence.
And you got to realize with that Porter fight, that to be honest, the Porter fight is what made him the man. At 147.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
he was doing what he's supposed to, and I still think Spence, like people say, the car accident, this, okay, the man is coming back and he's not taking no tune-ups. So all we gonna do is see him fight Ugas and then Crawford. But like I said, I don't like to get into this percentage shit, but just being realistic, they both gotta stop being pussies, to be honest, and they gonna have to come to the table. And Bud is going to have to give a little, and Earl is going to have to give a little in order for the fight to happen. If Bud wants to play hardball, and Spence wants to play hardball, we never going to get the fight.
Yeah, we never.
Until they both sit down, be realistic about the situation.
Well, that's the key. Be realistic, because if Earl come in there with 3 belts,
To me, it's not even about the belts. When you start talking about pay-per-views, it's about the numbers. Golovkin had every belt at middleweight except for the WBO belt, but Canelo was the A-side because his numbers.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was a bigger.
So it's not about
he's a bigger star.
right. It's not about your
then
accomplishments when you start talking about pay-per-views. When you have somebody who sells more than you, Floyd Mayweather can come right now and he's the A-side against everybody in boxing because of his numbers with no belt.
do you think because of the Porter fight that they're 50-50 as far as numbers go, or is that still Earl Spence domain?
Nah, Crawford did like 130,000
Did
buys.
130,000 buys. Like I said, it was on the app, but that's not Earl Spence's fault.
Right.
That's Bob Arum, who was promoting you's fault.
Right.
So that's why I don't know if it did 300 or something like that, but it probably would have did more. But it's still, but they're gonna have to give a little. Like
And
I
who
said,
knows?
to me,
But-
I want to see the fight.
Right.
I don't care. I don't give a damn if it's 50-50, 70-30,
90-10.
90-10. I just want to see the fight.
99-1 for all I
And
give.
both of them, y'all need each other.
Yeah,
That's what I believe.
but that's the thing. Neither one of them feels
Let's
like
go,
they
do.
need.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
but
what I'm
they
saying?
do though. When it's all said and done, that's unfinished business.
Because you think about it. Do you think Lennox Lewis needed Riddick Bowe? At the time, we would have said it.
Yeah.
But do you think he do now? No.
No, that's because Bo didn't
But that's what I'm
fulfill
saying.
his potential.
So it could be one of them instances where Earl like, well, shit, I got a bunch of shit on the table. I got all of these 154 fighters on the PBC stuff. But is that, and that's what I'm saying. It's almost like Earl got a pathway that Bud don't have.
Yeah, well, Bud's pathways are opened up a little bit more than ain't that with. Yeah.
Well, we'll see because let's say he move up to 154 and fight Charlo. Is he gonna get 50-50? Probably not.
I don't know. He might get more for Charles. their numbers ain't doing nothing. Both of them on the same card, numbers didn't do nothing. Did they even do 200,000
I don't
on
know.
the same card?
I don't know. I don't think so, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like my thing is, it makes sense to take a 60-40 split with Earl Spence more than it does with a Charlo.
But
Yeah, definitely.
let me
I'm
ask you
saying,
this.
but I'm just like I said, like I'm like you, Brandon. I don't really like to, when I hear all this number stuff, I really I really tune it out, but
you gotta talk about it.
Yeah, if you gotta talk about it when the fact that, like you said, Alan, if he's successful, in his next fight against Ugas, he'll be walking in not only with the pay-per-view numbers, like you said, three belts.
Yeah, and the thing is, Earl already knew you're not going to get an Ugas fight before me. Mm-hmm. Because on the PBC side of things, Earl is one of the guys who's bringing in the most money. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to give you a Ugas fight before Spence, just like you wasn't going to get a Pacquiao fight before Spence. Spence only didn't get the Pacquiao fight because of the eye injury. The fight was done.
Oh yeah,
so it's like I don't know. Like, to me, I like both fighters, and I honestly think it's probably I get tired of people saying, "Oh, it's the biggest fight in boxing." It's not. It's the fight that most people want to see, but it's not the biggest fight in boxing.
What do you think the biggest fight in boxing is then?
Canelo versus David Benavidez swamps that in pay-per-views.
I'll agree because Canelo's a bigger star.
Right, but that means that ain't the biggest fight. No. Spence versus Canelo swamps Spence versus Crawford.
Yeah, nobody. But right now,
it ain't the biggest fight. It's the fight that most people want to see because we believe that it's the most competitive.
Well, if the most people want to see it, then that will make it the biggest fight, right?
No, it's not true. I'm talking about us as boxing fans.
That
doesn't bring in a lot of casual fans like Jake Paul. Jake Paul probably bigger than both of them.
Well, he probably getting more money than both.
That's what I'm saying.
You had to say that.
I'm just being honest. I'm keeping it a buck.
All right, in that case, damn it, Canelo versus Jake Paul is the biggest fight in boxing.
I agree, 100%. Unless he's fighting Deontay Wilder, and if you get Deontay Wilder versus Canelo, that might be the biggest fight in boxing.
Jake Paul.
But I'm just saying.
I like how y'all brought that in, but go.
I'm just one thing, Alan. The man is fighting. He's a professional fighter, and he does pay-per-view numbers.
Well, as y'all explained to me, because I thought those fights were exhibition fights. I had no idea.
Actually, look, like you said, Alan, we not gonna sit on here and talk about no exhibitions or whatever.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all done heard it here first on Batman Boxing Talk. Don't be surprised if Canelo retire that boy. I'm telling you,
a year from now,
a year or something from now, he keep winning and he keep knocking out big name UFC fighters,
or some amateur boxers
that people know. Don't be surprised when Canelo look up and you say, "Wait a minute, you gonna pay me $70 million to fight this boy?" All right, I'm getting ready to end his career. I'm about to end this farce right now. I'm about to end it. I'm going to obliterate him.
I wouldn't even want to see that shit, man. I would watch it.
Canelo knock
I don't
head off.
Jake, man, Canelo beat
that's what I say.
If credit due, that feint that he hit Woodley with.
And some people say that joke. Look, you hear all the talk about that joke fake. That was joke.
No, he definitely fainted with the.
He did. But they said that he gave him the signal with the little.
Yeah. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Hey, Marcus, how you doing?
Yeah, doing?
What's up, Marcus? Drop your hand. Here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes.
Man, y'all can say what the fuck y'all want to say.
No, I don't think it was fake. No, but I'm talking about this. That's what I'm saying. Look, I was laughing because my brother was like this. He was like this. You know this fight's boring, right? Yep. You know, he say you know it's boring, right? Like, I do what you came here to do. Go, drop. There you go.
I was cursing Woodley ass. He was pissing me the fuck off. Man. Oh my God, he was pissing me the fuck off, bro.
My brother said he took a dive. I said he did take a dive. Face first.
Yep,
dive right into the canvas.
Down goes
feet this way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dead sleep.
Yep. Dead sleep.
Keep playing with Jake Paul. One thing about Jake Paul that you make it say, "Oh, Logan Paul." Jake Paul and that motherfucker training, boy.
Him and Logan, but he just better than Logan though.
No, I don't think Logan trained daily like Jake.
Jake
is in it to be because he understand. Even if I only fight old UFC people that people know, I'm bringing in three fan bases. Because I'm bringing in a UFC fan base, I'm bringing in my YouTube fan base that follow me based off the shit I did on YouTube, and I'm bringing in boxing fans that's just gonna pay to see it because it's a boxing fight. It's a boxing match.
Yeah.
So he hitting you from 3 different angles. So even if he fight 10 fights and fight Khabib and Nate Diaz. These are all people that these UFC fans love and are going to pay to see.
I think the last person he called out was Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. And then if he fight them guys and then fight somebody that somebody else know, like a Ocho Cinco or some shit, or something like that.
I'm telling you, he beat up a couple of more UFC fighters.
And then Canelo?
I'm telling you, if I was Jake, I'd be like this. I'm getting ready to cash out right now. After I knocked out a couple of more UFC fighters or whatever, or little successful fights, I'd like this. I get on the stab like this. I need the biggest star in boxing, man. I am the biggest star. We gonna see who the biggest star. Where's Canelo?
Not for real. I mean, if it's about cashing out,
look, he gonna get his
ass whooped.
He I think he know he gonna lose that fight. But look, if you gonna pay him, because Canelo gonna get about 70, right? So if you gonna pay him $30 million to fight Canelo, he gonna do it.
That fight gonna bring in some coins.
It'll bring in a lot of coins because you got all those fan bases that you just talked about, and then a lot of the UFC fan base want to see his ass lose, and I want to see him lose too.
Man, y'all hating on Jake. I like Jake. You know why I like Jake?
Why?
Because he is an example of what is possible. Like, who would have thought that? That's 15. Who would have thought?
That's 20 minutes. Keep going.
Okay, who would have thought that a YouTuber who do what the fuck we're doing right now, sit in front of a camera and talk shit all day, would have been in the ring with a Floyd Mayweather or Tyron Woodley or Ben Askren.
Well, he wasn't in there with.
I'm just saying, the brother is a YouTuber too.
That's true, yeah. That's true.
But I'm just saying, like,
it comes to show you how far boxing has come, because I remember when Too Tall Jones tried this shit, Mark Gastineau tried this shit. They didn't do it very long. 1-2 fights, they was like, let me take my ass back to football.
Yeah, but look
you
how
heard
old
what Darren
those.
Williams just said. Darren Williams said he was one and done.
But look how old they are. Jake Paul like 22.
Those were athletes. Big
Darren Williams like 50. Deron Williams like 40.
He said he about to sit his old ass down.
Frank Gore.
The one thing
like
I say
35.
about that, I don't like. I mean, honestly, like I said, it's to me it's a farce. But I respect anybody who gets in the ring, and he is not just like you said, sitting in front of a camera. Now he trains and he lives a boxer lifestyle right now.
You gotta respect it.
So that you have to respect. Anybody that gets in there, he fighting against people who, like I said, they may not be, have that much boxing experience, but they got fighting experience.
Yeah.
And he knocking their ass, slamming the fuck
And I
out.
think that's why I was getting so mad with Woodley, because I'm like, bro, like, I understand you're not a boxer, but you've been fighting your whole life, and within the sport of MMA or UFC or whatever the fuck you want to call it, boxing is something that you train on. You may not be 1,000% of your training method, but you train in it somewhat.
Right.
So the fact that every time you get close, you keep clenching, like you can't do nothing, was pissing me the fuck off. And we looking at somebody who's a YouTuber who's only been fighting for 3 years or 4 years, whatever the case may be, and he making you look like a regular motherfucker that's on the street.
Who was the first fight? Because that was their second fight, right?
Yeah.
So the first fight was a decision?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake won a decision.
But it's just...
I'm just saying, y'all don't be surprised if Jake, try to cash out and Canelo, accept and just get the money grabbed. I wouldn't be... Look, y'all can say what y'all want about him if he accept the fight, but everybody knows, all the boxers that can sit there and say all this is a farce and everything, if you're getting paid $70 million to fight Jake Paul, okay, we even put it down to 50. All right, 40 to fight Jake Paul, a YouTuber, even though he's taking up boxing, he's taking it serious, but he only been doing it for a few years. They would do it.
I honestly don't think Canelo would do it. The only way I see Canelo...
He said he wouldn't fight.
The only way I see Canelo fighting Jake Paul is if it's his last fight.
No, I think he's going.
I don't see him fighting Jake Paul and then coming back and fighting
I don't
somebody
see him fighting Jake Paul, because what does he gain from fighting Jake Paul?
$70 million.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. I don't see it happening. But if he were to do it, because I think Canelo's mindset right now is, legacy. Jake Paul does nothing for Canelo's legacy.
No,
Unless you're just talking about financially. But as
That's
far
what
as
I'm
his
saying.
boxing legacy, I don't think Jake Paul does
absolutely
anything.
nothing.
So I think Canelo's main focus right now is, like you said, conquering another weight division, maybe coming back to 75, trying to unify. But this is my thing, right?
If you knock him out, I ain't gonna be mad. Canelo, if you knock him out,
If he gonna knock his ass.
No, I'm saying if, like you said, because he probably won't even accept.
Oh,
the
I'm about to
fight.
say
'Cause
if.
Canelo
Oh, it's
is, like you said, true and true boxer through and through, and he respects the sport. So
If-
you know what I'm saying. So he probably like this. I don't even want to give you my time, but money talks.
If
man.
Jake Paul make it past the second round against Canelo, I'm putting Canelo lower.
Jake Paul is how old?
I don't know how old he is. If he make it past the second round against Canelo, Canelo's stock goes down in my book.
But he gonna be 200.
If Jake Paul is in his
I don't give a how
20s,
big he is.
man, listen, just like Floyd went and found a fight, an easy fight out, maybe Canelo say when he 36, 37, all right, if I can make that fight, it's an easy fight, I'll retire on this.
But that's why I say if he fights him, I don't think it'll be the last fight, because I think Canelo's goal right now is 2-time unification. I that's just what I believe. I mean 2-time undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that he's going to cruiserweight to stay. I think this is one of those things where let me go to cruiserweight,
The same thing he
win,
did.
win another division.
Yeah.
That'll put him at 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll also be used to getting hit by bigger guys. So when he go, because that Makabu dude, they can say what the fuck they want to say, but he got like 23 knockouts in 25 fights. So he is putting motherfuckers away. But I think that gets him acclimated to 175, and I think he'll try to unify or be undisputed at 175, because I don't see anybody there that, I mean, they better be as strong as fuck, but he's vulnerable. All these motherfuckers look vulnerable to me.
Last weekend I became a fan of Arthur Beterbiev, and I think that headbutt more so happened because he was fighting a southpaw.
Man, that motherfucker's strong. He did what he was supposed to do, which was bite down. And to me, like I always say, I'm the type of Canelo fan that wants to see him fight those guys, because I want to know how good he is. I believe he's that good, and I want to see how good he is.
One thing, I mean,
Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be thankful that he took the fucking fight.
I believe that fight would be in the middle of the ring.
I mean,
Unless Canelo backing up, which I mean Canelo can fight backing up, but that I think that would be one good fight.
He can do it all, but like I said, people thought the same with Triple G. Oh, Triple G gonna walk him, and Canelo is skilled and good enough to be able to fight with Arthur Beterbiev. He's good and skilled enough to fight with a Dimitri Bivol, and he's damn sure good and skilled enough to fight against a Joe Smith Jr. So, like I said, I don't see anybody at 175, 168, 160, 54, 47, 40, 35.
You gotta stop.
30.
Eastside Cruz, man. Eastside Cruz.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Look, Alan, you took the words right out of my mouth. You better not go down there around Aesop weight.
They're called Peter. They're
You
called
better
Peter.
not go down around Aesop weight.
They're called Peter.
Aesop stopping this all stop right now.
Yeah.
All this winning, stop right now.
Oh yeah, that's what they say.
That's right.
So
Aesop taking them shots, Aesop putting that pressure on Canelo. Canelo be like, man, what are you doing?
So since
You're not
this
supposed to lose.
since this is one of them shows where we just giving general talks, what do y'all think of Canelo fight? Or do y'all think we should do this on a different segment? Canelo versus Beterbiev. How y'all think that fight would go?
I mean, I don't know. I ain't speculating on a fight that ain't even happening.
I'm just saying, like you gotta put it into speculation, because that's likely what's next.
Canelo might get dribbled off the canvas.
Even if he do, he's talking about against Beterbiev.
Yeah, no, and I'm not talking
Against
about
Makabu?
Yeah,
Against
Makabu.
Makabu.
Makabu, like you said, he
Nah,
got 90 pounds. It might.
Maybe so. It's not impossible.
But look, I respect the man for trying. It's not. Just because we haven't heard him do, like you said, he has a lot of knockout. He got knockout power.
Motherfuckers did the same thing with Isak Cruz. Motherfuckers did the same thing with George Kambosos.
Yeah.
So, and now, these was motherfuckers that was in their weight class. Matter of fact, Isak Cruz was a little motherfucker coming up to 135. So, it ain't out the realm that a motherfucker that's probably going to be 210, that's a fighter, not Jake Paul. Yeah, exactly. That's a fighter.
Right,
could put him away.
One thing I don't want to see in that fight is I do not want to see his big ass back up, goddamn.
Well, I mean, one thing for sure, two things, a motherfucker take some shit away from you, you don't have no choice. But
5'8", this dude 6 feet. Goddamn, maul his little ass.
Listen, why do you think Tank was backing up versus Isak Cruz? You thought it was because he wanted to?
Oh no.
It's hard. I think honestly, that's one of the reasons why Canelo is so successful at those higher weights, because it's hard to fucking hit him. Think about being 6'3", 6'2", trying to get to the body of a motherfucker that's like a stump.
Yep, and that, you know, and Tank actually said that before the fight too. He was like, they was like, you know, how do you feel like, you know, fighting somebody short? He said, I actually think it's harder. I'm so used to being a smaller guy.
Think about this. Tank knocked out Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz, all motherfuckers that's 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". And then you get in there with little ass Isak, and he backing up.
Yeah.
But guess what? He backed up Leo. He backed up Mario.
We'll just talk about Isak fighting. Ryan Garcia, and then I think they said something about him.
Man, I don't know. I haven't heard nothing. Like I said, I don't go off of what my page say.
Beat Ryan ass.
Man, Ryan gonna knock his
crazy.
ass out. And then you know what's gonna happen?
He gonna punch Ryan in his knee.
You know what's gonna happen? Because the difference between, and this is why they say styles make fights. The difference between Tank and Ryan is, Tank is a placement puncher. Tank like to take his time and throw onesie twosies and place punches. It's easier to fight against guys like that than tall, rangy motherfuckers that's super quick, like a Hearns, like a Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia throwing them quick ass motherfucking left hooks is sit Isak Cruz ass down.
I don't know if he gonna hit him. He probably miss him. He's so low to the ground. All Isak gotta do is do this.
That gives Isak that same advantage.
Exactly. All he gotta do is do this, and Ryan go right, because Ryan do like, he throw the hook, he ain't even looking. He just like this, and he throw it, and he just dip under that joint.
And guess what?
And he gonna hit him in his knee. Like I said, then his knee gonna be hurt. Then he gonna hit him to the body.
Here's the thing. I give Tank credit for this, because Tank took some great body shots in that fight.
Let me tell you something. First of all, I ain't even talking about Ryan. Ryan ain't fighting nobody. Ryan probably sign to fight Isak and then say, you know what?
You ain't lying. That's crazy.
I got a mental issue.
Because I fuck with Ryan Garcia. Y'all knew I fuck with Ryan Garcia.
Exactly. Right now, he going through some stuff. Until he get back in the ring, until he get back in the ring, I don't even care about that.
Yeah, the Campbell fight been what? Almost a year now, hasn't it?
Probably. Yeah. Maybe more than that.
I wonder if that would kind of put him
on
his mental bend.
Let me tell you why. Because that motherfucker got over that mental shit in that ring and knocked Luke Campbell ass the fuck out with a body shot. So no, that ain't what it is.
No, that's not. No, that wasn't. I mean, but ever since then, he ain't fighting no more. I guess he be like this. You know what? I did get knocked on my ass for the first time, but he did show grit in that fight, and you cannot take that away from him.
I like that.
He got hit. I mean, good. Yep. Went down, got up, got himself together, and he was like this. And look, he looked out the ring, and Canelo said, "The body, man." What did I tell you? What did I tell you? He was like this. All right, I got it.
Protege.
Yep.
You don't see Canelo in a way when he talking about Ryan Garcia. You don't hear Canelo talking about what he did when you talking about Ryan. Come on now, come on, I'm throwing subliminals at Floyd.
You need to stop.
Fuck Floyd.
No, I like that in that ring, but as a
one
promoter,
of the best to ever do it in the ring.
Fucking full of shit.
I mean, but as a promoter,
did y'all see Mickey Bay come on and talk shit about how?
I didn't. You know what? I saw the videos. I saw it from other people, but I never clicked on it.
He was talking about how they was mad.
We talked enough shit about Floyd. I ain't want to hear no more about Floyd.
That's true. But now something else came out, and he fucked Mickey Bay over. Yeah, man, they was fucking that man over.
How was they fucking him over?
putting managers and shit in place that wasn't managers.
Oh,
letting
yeah, I
motherfuckers
did
test.
hear that. I did hear that. Yeah.
Wow.
I think
Like
something
you
said
say,
his cousin or something.
Yeah, you have so much
Yeah.
faith in somebody, you know, and then they fuck you. I mean, you know, mess you over. But shout out to Mickey Bay. He's in Devin Haney's corner. He doing his thing. I think he's trying to fight Tevin Farmer. I think that's a bad fight for him because I think Tevin Farmer is the goods.
Tevin Farmer, isn't he retired?
Nah, he I don't know, man. I'd be worried for Tevin Farmer.
He just lost not too long ago, JoJo Diaz, right?
That was like a year, 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Okay.
But I mean, even in that fight, he didn't lose bad. He just lost. I mean, that's one of the things we got to get out of. So what? He lost the fight.
Yeah, but I thought he was retired though.
No, he ain't retired.
I thought he retired.
But I don't know. He be having. I thought he had some mental shit or some something that was going on because that motherfucker be like flinching and falling asleep
but
in the ring.
but you know, Tevin Farmer. I mean, I think he started boxing late. As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for him to accomplish what he
that
accomplished,
motherfucker. He was one of my favorite fighters 2 years ago. But like you say, he ain't been in the ring. But
I mean, another thing I came across, Deontay Wilder's looking at retiring.
I don't know how true that is, so I'm not talking about it. Because I've been hearing that he want to fight Andy Ruiz. I've been hearing if Tyson Fury vacate, he might fight Dillian White. So I don't know. But I'll wait to. One thing about me, I don't have to report first. I'm not, and this no disrespect to Blue Blood because I watch Blue Blood on a regular. But everything ain't breaking news for me. I mean, I'm fine with sitting back and allowing shit to play out and then giving my opinion on it. I ain't got to be the first to
Blue Blood, one of the, like I said, shout out to him. I mean, he is one of the hardest working
Definitely,
dudes
100%.
in this that does this here.
100%.
He does this shit. But like you said,
100%.
everything though, Blue hears something, Blue gonna tell you about it.
100%.
Yep, that's
Blue
it.
breaking news so much that the shit don't even be breaking to me no more. I just hit play shit.
Yeah.
I don't need. But I like Blue because, like I said, one thing about Blue, people can say what they want to say about him. I've had the opportunity to talk to him on Fred's show.
Yeah.
And he get out there and he get information from his sources. And like he always say, he's a journalist, so he reports
What he hears.
what
Exactly.
he hears. Just
Exactly.
like no different from when LeBron James might be getting traded and might be doing this, and Stephen A. Smith, big head ass, is out there reporting that news. So I mean, 100% respect to Blue because he out there. He had all the fights.
Yep.
And he do shit
Grind.
that
That
I
dude
can't
grind.
see myself doing because I would have smacked the shit out of Leonard Ellaby after that dumbass shit he did. That shit pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah, it pissed me off for Blue. I mean, for Blue too, because whenever you've heard Blue, you've never heard Blue really disrespect Tank or.
If anything,
Not at all.
He gives them.
I've heard
or
Blue
Floyd.
Blood
Yep.
say Floyd Mayweather is the greatest fighter ever.
Yeah,
I've heard him say he's the greatest ever over everybody. And it's like, I don't know what's gotten into him.
I always give Blue Blood this. He gives these fighters much love. I mean, because every fighter is the superstar, undisputed.
But you know what he says? He said the reason why he gives those credentials because these fighters risk their lives when they step into the ring.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of
And
it.
he
Yeah.
respects those fighters. And
Yeah,
I've
he
never
respect-
heard
yeah.
Blue Blood disrespect a fighter.
Nope.
I've never heard that. So for him to get on there and act like a girl, like you was trying to prove some type of point, a real man would have said, I'm not doing an interview with you because I don't like how you did that. If you want to talk about this afterwards, we could talk about it after. You all, what he say? You heard what he said?
But they said that, I mean, Blue did say that they talked afterwards.
But even still, like you was trying to prove a point on camera for everybody else.
But like you said, I'm a firm believer on, like, you know, just like, you know, we came and we did shows saying that we was wrong about fights. I'm a firm believer if we gonna sit here and on this camera and say, oh, I think, like you said, without a shadow of a doubt, that, you know, we ain't give Cambosis no credit. Right. Without a shadow of a doubt, we ain't even going. This ain't gonna be a long segment because it ain't gonna be a long fight.
Right.
We gonna come back on camera and tell y'all we was wrong.
And
Leonard did that punk shit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he talked off camera, but I would have loved for, you know, you to be on camera and say we, you know, my bad, you know.
My thing is, we shouldn't even have known that they had a fucking altercation.
That's true. Yeah.
Because if Brandon got a problem with Allen, I'm gonna say, Allen, I need to holler at you.
Yeah.
If Brandon got a problem with Tony, I'm gonna say, Tony, I need to holler at you. I'm not gonna wait till we get on. I'm feeling this way this whole time. I'm gonna wait till we get on camera and be like, yeah, Tony, what the fuck you say? That's what you trying to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that Leonard, man, like then it's like when you become this killer.
That's like that same dumb shit when he
DC,
said he wanted to,
man, I don't care.
when he said that same dumb shit about knocking out Eddie Hearn. I'm saying knocking out Eddie Hearn. Like, really? What?
Eddie said they can do a little pay-per-view, John.
Eddie said he need 99% though.
Yeah, but he said
I don't blame him.
He said, I need all that.
But like I said, I just don't like that type of stuff, man. And like I said, I'm gonna call it out.
Well,
Be a businessman. Be a businessman.
Look, the heat's on their ass, so
Well, I mean,
they're a little testy right now.
yeah, but at the end of the day, man,
But
like I just don't like I said, at the end of the day, bro, Blue Blood is probably the reason why Tank is what y'all consider a star because how he reports on the I say boy because he's a grown man, but like and that's one of the things I've always said. Like I would never go to fights and follow nobody with no camera. If you don't got enough respect to stop and have a conversation with me, then I don't want to fucking interview. I'm sorry. I'm not following behind nobody. Fighters be disrespectful, walking off like, bruh, I'm covering you, nigga. I'm the reason why people know who you are because 1,000 motherfuckers gonna go watch Blue Blood when he go live. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 motherfuckers gonna go watch Fred when he go live. 1,000 motherfuckers gonna go watch Trill when they go live. 1,000 motherfuckers gonna go watch Showbiz and all of them. So the fact that these fighters feel like they can be disrespectful to these media people, like y'all need them just as much as they need y'all. They need y'all to report, and y'all need them to get y'all word out there. What's the first thing a fighter do when they want to say something? They gonna call up one of them media sources so they can get their word out there. Show some respect. I just don't like that stuff, bro. And that go for everybody. I'm not singling out anybody. Earl Spence do it. Crawford do it. All of them do it. I don't like I've never seen Canelo do an interview where he walking off with somebody trying to talk to him. Say I don't have time today. I would rather you tell me you ain't got time today than to be disrespectful.
I mean, but we keep asking the question, why aren't certain fighters getting recognition
and that's
like other fighters do? And like you said, Canelo, one thing that he does, regardless of where he is, he lets his people know that he have love for him.
Yeah, and he
hasn't forgotten where he comes from.
Exactly, and he gonna make sure he do interviews in Spanish for them 9 times out of 10 first because he's gonna cater to his people. Meanwhile, our fighters want you to follow behind them like they fucking King Tut or some shit.
Well, money does that.
Man, Canelo got more than all these motherfuckers.
I agree with you, but some people don't know how to handle success.
I just don't like it. And like I said, I wouldn't be doing it. But if I did, a fighter got one time to be fucking disrespectful to me and we can run. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, and it is what it is. Like, because that's fucking disrespectful. Like, I'm a man just like you, man. I don't give a fuck that you get in the ring and throw hands. Like, who cares? Like, we watch this shit for the love of the sport, but you don't have to be disrespectful. I've never seen Canelo walk off on a fighter while they was giving an interview. And I'm not saying he haven't. I just saying I haven't seen it. Normally he stops, he gives his interviews, and if they can't do it, he'll say, I gotta go, or whatever the case may be. Just be respectful. Then you got motherfuckers like the Charlos get mad because the reporter asks a question. Okay, motherfucker, what do you, like we trying to fucking get your word out there so that if Canelo is who you want and I report that Canelo is who you want, then fans can start to demand that you fight Canelo, and 9 times out of 10 you got a better chance. Like, that's just the way this shit go.
Again, some people can't handle success.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that I would pull a goddamn phone out to interview anybody anyway.
I really don't care enough. Like I said, if somebody want to come on and have a conversation with us, cool, but I ain't doing no chasing. I don't care. To be honest, I don't really care enough to talk to no fighter. I do this because I love boxing and I want to give my opinion on it. I don't give a shit if we never get a fighter. Like, it doesn't matter to me. To me, when we initially started this was because we would sit and have discussions about boxing, and somebody said we might as well put this shit on tape.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about the love of the game. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it kind of skews you too when you come like real friendly, with a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And it's you. Even the best of us that would say we're not biased, but if that fighter's my man, you know what I'm saying, and he always come through for us, it's like
now I can't say certain shit because I got
because like it's like so. Look, like okay, so we gonna talk about such and such. No, we ain't talking about him. You know what I'm saying? we just leave it off. But
and the thing is, I know fighters, but I'm not about to. I don't care enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I've talked to her in person and heard his side of the story, but I'm not about to be like I don't care enough, bro. Like I really don't care. To be honest with you, like this shit is fun for me, and I talk to him the same way I talk to y'all.
Well, I mean, it's all about being a real person. I mean, how many real people are out there today? I mean, like you go to a certain event, fight. I remember when Ray Leonard lost to Tommy Hearns. Now at the Capitol Center, probably it was 95% Ray Leonard fans in there. Now I walked out before the damn decision because I was like, he got his ass whooped. You had people walking out the Capitol Center. Yeah, it was a draw. I'm like, the fuck fight did you watch?
That's because boxing is subjective, and it's always going to be that way. It's just like the kid that got on the live that said, "Oh, fighters should judge fights." If it's not, it doesn't fucking matter. If Floyd Mayweather judge a fight, he's going to judge it based on how he would fight. If fucking Leo Santa Cruz judge a fight, he's going to base that shit off of something totally different. It's always going to be skewed opinions because that's just the way life is.
Somebody brought that up a couple weeks ago though about these judges that's been judging fights forever, still sitting in judges.
Floyd said something about that.
Was that Floyd?
The point is, Alan, we all see things differently. I can look at this Christmas tree and it could be the prettiest shit in the world, and Tony can look at this same fucking Christmas tree and it's the ugliest tree in the world to him. That's just the way life is. I look at fucking Beyonce and I think she might be the baddest girl in the world. Somebody else look at her and say she look like a reindeer. That's just the way shit goes. So
I
sorry.
would love to see who said Beyonce looks like.
Man, a lot of people don't think Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying.
I'm not. Look, they may not say that she's the the most prettiest girl in the world, but that think they.
I can bet my bottom dollar that somebody else did it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Different ethnicities probably don't think.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
but I didn't see. Look, I done seen guys. I mean, rednecks. That Beyonce.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying is,
it's all subjective.
It's all subjective. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way boxing is.
But Halle Berry is just as close to damn it you gonna get.
I mean, that's what people would say. Some people would say she looked like a motherfucking chimpanzee.
Not at all.
Somebody will. I'm just saying.
And they're wrong.
Any man that
in your
Halle
eyes,
Berry.
Why you think we argue all the time about the same fights? Cause you see that shit one way and I see it another way. You see that you thought motherfucking
I give you that on fights, but anybody who thinks Halle Berry isn't an attractive woman has some
that's
issues.
not true.
Issues.
Man, y'all tripping. Life was meant to be that way. Cause everybody can't like the same shit.
No,
that's why they say there's somebody for everybody. You see a motherfucker walking around that you think ugly as fuck and she got a man. But guess what? To that man, she might be the prettiest thing in the world. So that's just the way life goes. And with that being said, I felt like I taught y'all a lesson today.
I don't think.
And we've been on this motherfucker for about 30 to 40. So we need to end this show.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Batman boxing talk.
We out.
Damn, I was about to say we back. We out.
Something we didn't cover.